especially if you are sitting because, you know, swamp butt, we don't want that. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you are all doing well. Today I'm sharing 10 simple style hacks that you can use to stay chic and cool this summer. I'm not sure how the weather is where you are, let me know down in the comments below, but here in Atlanta it has already been very hot and extremely humid. It's like every year I forget just how humid it gets here. If you are new here, please do subscribe and of course follow along over on Instagram. These summer style tips are in no particular order. Each one can make a very big difference in keeping you cool this summer, so just keep them in mind as you're getting ready for the day. Style tip number one is to pick your fabrics wisely. Believe it or not, the textures that you're choosing and the fabrics that you're choosing are going to make or break whether or not you are miserable in the summer heat, or if you're wearing more breathable fabrics, you'll be a lot more comfortable. There's a reason that every year we see the same types of fabrics or the same type of trends, and that's because those fabrics are typically popular during that season. For example, linens and seersucker and eyelet details, a lot of those come back every single summer because they are light breathable fabrics. They all don't trap in heat and they help wick away sweat, so that is why you see them every single summer. There are also fabrics to keep in mind that you definitely want to avoid. I think it's always safe to go with a cotton fabric. A lot of times you can get away with a viscose fabric, which is like a rayon, and it's kind of like a cheaper form of cotton, but they're very similar fabrics. Both are breathable, both will keep you cooler, especially compared to polyester or any sort of synthetic fabric you definitely want to stay away from. And you definitely want to avoid clingy fabrics because as soon as you start to sweat, those are just going to grab hold of you even more and show more sweat. So things like I mentioned, polyester, silk, definitely not fabrics you want to reach for throughout summer. So to show you guys some examples of some great summer fabrics, so this year I did splurge on some Zimmermann white shorts. I found these on sale, very luckily. So not only are these a very breathable short that I can wear throughout summer, but it also has a very flowy fit, which I will get into as well. So I just thought it would be a really great piece. However, when it comes to linen, you definitely have to accept the fact that it will be wrinkled. The fabric I definitely reach for the most throughout summer is just light and airy cottons. For example, this white maxi dress from Target. This should show up on my channel very soon in a new Target haul, so make sure to have that notification bell turned on if you don't want to miss it. Not only are these cotton materials typically pretty affordable, but they also do a really great job of keeping you cool in the summer. One thing you definitely don't want to overlook is looking at the lining material. I have an example to show you guys. So this dress that I just shared with you, it does have a liner underneath, however it is cotton. Whereas this dress that I also just recently picked up at Target, you may look at it first glance and be like, oh, that looks very comfortable, breathable, has eyelet detail, it's white, feels cottony, it should keep me cool. However, if you take a closer look, the lining underneath is actually 100% polyester. Now, I'm not saying you have to completely avoid that. I would probably be okay wearing this, but it's definitely something you want to double check. And if you find yourself being too hot, it could be the lining in your materials that is making it that way. So in contrast, an example that probably will not do a good job at all at keeping you cool. So this tulle dress, I absolutely love it, and you may look at it and be like, oh, that looks so light and airy, I'm sure I'll stay cool in this. However, for one, the lining is 100% polyester. That's not a very breathable fabric. And two, you may look at the sleeves and be like, oh, that looks so breathable, right? However, tulle is actually a very heavy fabric. It can be a little bit itchier. So believe it or not, I would be much hotter wearing this outside than I would even the long sleeve white cotton dress. So just because one looks like it might be cooler or one is shorter or flowier does not mean it will keep you cooler. I will actually be much more comfortable wearing this one, even though it's long sleeve and it's a longer hemline, just based on the fabric. So that one was probably a little bit longer than the rest of the tips will be, but I felt like I had to do a lot of examples. So style tip number two is just going with more flowier fits versus fitted styles. So the example I have to show you are these two pair of shorts. So for one, denim shorts are definitely going to be a thicker, heavier material. They are typically not going to be as breathable, plus they're a lot more fitted. So between the two, jean shorts, even though they're shorter, your legs are showing, you would likely be much hotter in jean shorts than you would a longer fitting dress, especially if you are sitting because, you know, swamp butt, we don't want that. So a better example to keep you cooler would be these flowy pleated ruffle shorts. Now you may be like, but Amanda, those are polyester. You are totally right. They are polyester. However, comparing them to jean shorts, you're going to be cooler in these simply because they are flowier. So you're going to get more airflow up there. So you'll be much better off going with a flowier fit than something that's more fitted. That's why I reach for a ton of dresses throughout summer. Well, that's not the only reason. I have a very girly style, so it definitely falls in line with my personal style, but I also just find it so much more comfortable and breathable, especially through the summer. So an example I wanted to show you guys, I shared this dress a little bit earlier in the year, so I'm not sure if it's still available. But even though this dress has a lot of length, it has sleeves, I'm still going to be relatively cool in it because it is a flowy fabric. It is still a synthetic fabric, but it is very flowy and breathable. And I also wanted to point out the slip underneath doesn't come down all the way. If it did, it would definitely trap in more heat. So that's another thing you want to look out for. Tip number 3 would be to reach for lighter colors throughout the summer months. Darker colors like black and dark navy are definitely going to draw in more heat and absorb more heat. So when you're wearing those, you're likely to get a little warmer than you would be wearing a white fabric. So the areas that you trap in the most amount of heat would be your head, your hands, and your feet. So tip number 4 is to avoid hats. Now, of course, the exception to that rule is going for a straw hat. So wearing a straw hat will definitely still allow heat to dissipate from your head, but it will also provide important sun protection and also keep your face and shoulders shielded from the sun as well, which will all work together to help keep you cooler. But if you're reaching for heavier hats like a fedora or even a baseball cap, you're going to be trapping in a lot more heat. If you guys are shopping for a great summer hat, I'm going to round up a couple for you guys that I'll link down below. Style tip number 5 is to choose the right undergarments. So a couple things to keep in mind when picking out your summer bras and undergarments. First and foremost, I think the biggest thing is to avoid padding. Like if you're going for the push-up option or just a bra in general with a ton of padding, just know that you're gonna get boob sweat because with all of that padding, you're just gonna trap in so much heat. So if you look at this bra, this was one of my favorite everyday bras. So just because of the material, it's definitely gonna keep you a little bit warmer, especially if you're outside. Now, if you are going to work and you're in the air conditioning, I wouldn't worry about that as much. I would definitely reach for this in the summer, but if I was going to be outside or go to a baseball game or go to some sort of event outside, I would definitely not reach for this one because the fabric and the material is just a lot thicker than other options. So this bra has a lot less padding. It's just a lot more thin in general. And then the band is also very thin as well. Now, my personal favorite for summer is definitely a sticky bra. This is probably what I reach for 95% of the time, just because for one, it works under everything, literally everything. You don't have to worry about straps, you don't have to worry about your back showing, and not to mention, they're just so much more comfortable. Honestly, if you don't have one of these, you definitely need one. Even my mom, I had her try one of these last year she was going on a cruise, and she was like, why did I not know about these? They're so much more comfortable. So highly recommend. But of course I have to mention these are sticky boobs. So there is a chance that you're going to sweat and they will unstick. If that does happen to you, you can totally go to the restroom, give them a little wash with some soap and water, and then let them air dry. You can even put them under the dryer and they will re-stick again. You might want to, like, you know, clean the boob sweat off so they do stick again. So just like choosing the right bra to keep you cool throughout summer, you also want to pick the right underwear as well. So for example, this seamless thong from Spanx, everyone needs one. This is 100% cotton, so it's going to be breathable, but it's also very thin since it's seamless. By far, definitely the most comfortable underwear that I have personally tried, and it also is in line with the right fabrics that you want and super thin. So even picking the right underwear is very important throughout summer. Style tip number 6 is to switch up your bag. Go with either something that's smaller or go with something that you can carry in your hand. So if you are carrying, for example, a large leather tote, for one, leather is going to be a little bit warmer. You're carrying it on your shoulder. It's going to be against your body, so it's going to trap in a lot more heat. So switching to a smaller bag, specifically a crossbody bag, is going to allow your arms to move freely, which will definitely help keep you cool, and it's also just a lot smaller surface area against your body. I also love to reach for straw bags throughout summer. For one, I love the natural texture that it adds to my outfits, but they are also typically carried on either your forearm or your hand, at least the ones that I typically buy. So again, it's not going to trap in heat against your body, and I feel like it's just a great summer accessory to have. So if you are specifically looking for straw bags, I have a blog post where I rounded up the cutest options for summer, so I'll link that down below. Tip number 7 is more of a beauty tip, but it's definitely considering your hairstyle. If you have a ton of hair, or if your hair is on your neck and back, you're definitely going to be a lot warmer than someone wearing a ponytail or with a shorter hairstyle. So ways that you can style your hair to stay a little bit cooler would be to incorporate braids or really cute little ponytails. You can also add in accessories like ribbons or going for little scrunchy details, which are very on trend right now. Those are ways that you can add to your overall look, but also help keep you cooler as well, especially if you're not committed to cutting your hair off, because that's also another option. The shorter your hair is off of your neck and back, the cooler that you're going to be. Style tip number 8 is to always go with a sandal or open toe shoe option. So if you had to choose between a sneaker, which is very on trend right now, or a sandal, you're gonna be a lot cooler, obviously, in the sandal option. Circling back to the tip on hats, again, you lose the most heat through your feet and your extremities and your head. If you haven't seen my 2020 spring and summer shoe must-haves, I'll link that video for you guys to check out here. And then I'll also just round up some of my favorite summer sandals and link those for you guys down below. Style tip number 9 is to not underestimate sleeves. Sometimes people are more likely to want to wear like spaghetti straps or strapless options. However, depending on where you're going to be, if you're going to be in direct sunlight, you may be actually cooler going with sleeves, even if they are long sleeve, as long as for one, they're a breathable fabric. Not only are you going to protect your skin, which is super important, but it will also kind of help filter through some of the heat that your body is trying to absorb. So for my last tip, I feel like it's kind of an obvious one, but one that people probably don't think about as often as they should, and that is just to pack a little mini fan with you. So I'm sure some of you would be a little worried about looking extra high maintenance pulling this out of your bag, and I could probably count a few of my friends who would be like, Amanda, you're ridiculous. However, I can also guarantee you that as soon as you start to use it, they're gonna want to use it too. So of course I had to find the cutest pink little fan on Amazon, so I'll link this for you guys down below. It is actually very portable. I like it a lot better than like something chunky because it's very lightweight, but for how lightweight it is, it actually works very well. So if you guys have any tips and tricks to staying cool this summer, definitely let me know your thoughts on all of these down in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, I would love for you to give it a thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on Friday with a new video.